Date night, date day.
Use your own song.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I just told him that I won't have to take a break from our feelings to here. I got two donations here. There's slips at the side.
Walk around.
I can't do it too long because it's hot up here. Okay, everybody, welcome to this beautiful day and the meeting of the Rotary Club of Greenville. If everybody would please stand. Today we have John Clark doing the prayer, Kim Quimby doing the pledge, Larry, which one? Okay, Larry Mays doing four-way test. It just says Larry there. So, and CJ Crawford doing this song today. Woohoo!
Father, thank you, Lord, for today, blessing us, blessing our lives, filling us, leading us all down paths that help us help our community. And every one of us has a story to tell, places you've led us in this world. I thank you, Lord, we get to hear a few of them today. So thank you for the food, provision, for all your technology, wisdom, give us.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of the United States. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We don't have
You'll join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First,
Is it the truth?
Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Yay, club! Good job!
Okay, so
And now comes the
a
song.
happy song was requested. We will be doing song number 31 on page 40, and as a treat, we're only going to sing the chorus. That is a treat to you today. So the song is Happy Days Are Here Again. Everybody should know the chorus. Are you ready? Happy days are here again. Come on, guys. I did the happy days are here again. Thank you.
Everybody got that part.
The next time you come back, you're singing the whole song.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It was right there.
All right, let's move on to, we have got a couple of guests. Sandra, would you please tell us who your guests are today?
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Stand. Today I brought along with me, I'm going to bring somebody every Wednesday until you leave. This is Claudia Argumanos. She's an administrative assistant at the district attorney's office. And this is Calvin Grogan. He's one of our assistant district attorneys at the district attorney's office.
Okay, let's move on to Happy.
Okay, who's happy to be here today?
Happy.
Here we go. Now we get started.
Y'all are going to hear from me every single week. And several of y'all slipped out last week, but I have slips for the auction. So please, if you didn't get your slips today so you can go around and get auction items. If you are new, you're not necessarily on a sheet yet, so I want you to know that we do have some that are just blank, that you can go approach anybody you would like to approach. And then we have some that are just a stack and they don't have workers on them. So I can get you some sheets today. So stop by and see me. I will be here for a little while after the meeting.
And please remind us, when and where do we need to give you those auction items?
Yes. If you're going to turn them in, like Sweet CJ already started today. She brought me 2 items. She brought me the item, and then you turn in the yellow sheet with the item. Do not put your own items in the back room or they don't get accounted for that way. It's very critical. You turn them into me so we can get them on the computer and on the list. So the white sheet is left with, let's just say you're going to go see Kim Quimby at Travel Dreams. Excuse me. Oh, that's like another $1. And she's going to donate something, then let's just say she donates a beach towel, and then you're going to give her the white slip and get the value, and then you turn it into me, the yellow slip, along with the beach towel. It's a simple process. All you have to do is ask. People are willing to give. This is the most giving community I've ever been in. You can turn all your items in here on Wednesday, please, in here at the Rotary on Wednesdays. If you got any questions, contact me.
Okay. John, what do you got for us today?
Apparently I got here too early and I was giving the chili tickets to pass out, so in the near future you will be getting a packet from me with the tickets on there that you will need to sell. So be prepared to see me. Thanks.
Okay, Kim?
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Debbie,
You're welcome.
for advertising for, what was it, farmers? Okay, y'all have everybody in your thoughts. We've got 10 people boarding the ship today, and we'll be cruising, and hopefully no one will have any seasickness. I'm looking at Troy. He's not on the ship. That's good. So, and we'll fly out tomorrow.
Yay, Larry.
All right. I'm just happy. I'm happy I'm here, and I'm happy all of them are going on a cruise and having a good time. Just sorry I couldn't go with them.
Happy Coble?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Gary?
Right. My happy witness for my son-in-law, Alan, who started his brand new job with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources after 7 years of college and a master's in entomology, bugs, all that. He's working in pollinators for them, and he's the father of my new grandbaby coming in April, so I'm excited about that, fourth grandson.
Congratulations on that. That's exciting times. Okay, Clint.
Just happy.
You're a happy guy, huh? Okay, who else? Ready? Oh, here we go. We're going back. We're going in the back.
I'm just happy to announce that Tara is out of track jail. She has been released, and she is going to be competing for the University of Texas. And this Friday will be her first track meet. So I'm excited and ready for her to get going again.
Good.
We know where you'll be, Rob.
Okay. Any happy people back here?
I'm happy that Sandra Bell invited me today.
And I am happy Miss Ross invited me a long time ago, and I showed up, and now I'm a Rotarian, and I'm also happy that my friends and coworkers came with me today.
Very nice. What else we got going on today? Oh, Bill's got something going on.
Well, I'm happy to have my beautiful wife here today.
Oh, man.
Isn't that awesome?
You want to say something nice about him?
Yeah, my man.
Okay, is that it?
Hey, David.
Oh, we're moving back here. See that? I'm moving fast. I'm running.
Yeah, hurry up.
It's funny.
I lost a very expensive piece of jewelry yesterday, but I'm happy. I found it again. I almost stepped on it. Hallelujah.
Amen to that. Okay, anybody else? And Katie, you happy too?
I'm always happy.
All right. Let's draw for the deck of destiny. We're talking some big bucks now here, Dave. I even double checked. It's still in there. The ace of spades is still in here.
Oh, I'm glad you checked.
Well,
Just this week.
I was starting to.
Okay. Oh, we gotta have somebody. Bill, why don't you?
He can't.
You
Do
can't.
David. Ask David too.
Okay.
I have a.
What, just draw one?
Yeah, just draw. Draw a number.
Just one, though.
Yeah, just one.
Okay.
Okay, holler out the number.
Hand it to me.
853-430.
8559.
859.
659-430.
430, you got that?
430.
Okay, Sandra, got it.
Sandra took my ticket.
Okay.
Sandra, you need to draw the 4 of hearts.
Did you like?
10 of diamonds.
At this time, I would like to invite Roz Lane to come up. She has a couple of special presentations she is going to do for us very quickly. Troy. Oh, he may have it.
We have 2 Rotarians that are going to get their red badges today, so we can get them started and have them doing everything. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Tammy first. Would you hide that? Okay, I'll make it louder. Thank you. Okay, we'll have Tammy first, and Tammy is married to Alan Schaefer. She's Tammy Schaefer, and she has a building company with her husband. She has 13 grandbabies, and she and I share some grandchildren together. So we have fun. Alan used to be my son-in-law. Yeah. So we go back a ways. And she is very dedicated to this community, and she's dedicated to the Lord. So at this time, I want to go ahead and present you with your badge. There you are. And we will have her go ahead and get started and hurry up and get her blue badge.
Stay up there.
Oh, they want you still there, okay. And Sandra is no stranger to this area. We have known her for a long time. She is, as you know, she is a veteran. So don't mess with her because she knows how to handle things. And she is employed by the district attorney's office. She's been in law enforcement for 27 years. And those of you that have watched us in football, she is the proud mother of Byron Bell. And Byron has been around in the community. We don't know where he's going to go off to, but he's getting engaged. So, and very, very proud of him. And we look forward to Sandra working with us. And at this time, again, she's got to hurry up so we can go ahead and get her blue badged. Woo! Need pictures.
You need to tell us that she's running for constable.
Well, I'm trying not to be political.
But you just did, and thank you.
All right. Nice smiles.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You gotta know the secret handshake yet, though.
Wrong club.
Working on it.
Okay, I'm going to do a little apologizing in advance for a few things some miscommunications that happened, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and proceed today on certain things. I actually have been behind in doing Rotarian of the Month, and there's the last quarter for me is just an insane asylum. So I would like to now take this time for us to honor some of our fellow Rotarians that have done some amazing things over the last few months. The first Rotarian that I'm going to ask to come up worked tirelessly on upgrading the haunted house and making it viable for us to be able to see what was going on in the haunted landmark from one central location. She gave up her time, and even on the night of Halloween, she volunteered her time to bring one of the police vehicles out there, have it out there, because I don't know if you guys remember or realized even what the impact was the week before is when that Joker movie came out, and there were a lot of worries and concerns about how that was going to impact large locations where people gather. And so she donated her time to be there in uniform. When we had a large group of people come through that was a little bit concerning, she ran downstairs and made sure everything was okay. And at this time, I would like to make sure that we just give unbelievable praise to CJ Crawford as our Rotarian of the Month for October. Please come up here. The haunted house is now in the 21st century.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
Okay, I think over here.
Okay.
And then over here too. Thank you, ma'am, for all your hard work.
That's sweet.
Tirelessly.
But I didn't do as much as other people did.
This is why I said I'm going to apologize in advance. I do not have certificates yet for these two next people, but the next person that I'm going to invite to come up and at least take a photo, and we'll get a photo with the certificate later, is somebody that no matter what happens, no matter what event it is, and trust me, from this position as president, it's every moment of every day there's something that has to be done. And you have to be able to call on people and say, I really need your help. And this particular individual, no matter what I've asked, no matter how crazy it is, no matter how many times I've asked, has stepped up to the plate. I don't have to guide them. I don't have to tell them what to do. They just do it and they take off running with it. And in the month of November, if you will remember, we had the business before or business after hours event in combination with the Chamber of Commerce. And at that event, Debbie Sickles did everything here to set up ahead of time. During the event, stayed after the entire night and cleaned up the entire building. At this time, I would like to invite Debbie Sickles to come up because she is one of the most amazing Rotarians I've ever seen and has literally done everything and anything I've ever asked of her. I could not do the presidency without her. Over there too.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. That's why I apologized in advance to you earlier.
I'll get up there again.
Okay. This next Rotarian for the month of December, this is actually a little bit of a branch off here, and you'll understand in just a minute, but in the month of December, we had one big event, didn't we? We had our Christmas party, and I don't know how many of you in here know what happened for the Christmas party. It was a wonderful, wonderful, smashing success. It was a wonderful environment because the Ralstons host us every year, and it's amazing and very intimate, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity to have that. And they had everything set up and ready to go, and at the very last minute, literally like 3 days ahead of time, they lost their caterer. So they had to run around this town, a couple other towns, trying to piece together what ended up to be a very wonderful event, and the meal was spectacular, and I very much appreciate that, but I also know how disconcerting that is and how much, your heart just drops because you don't know what to do, and you have to go and just figure it out. And so for the month of December, we've done something a little bit differently. Mr. Bill Ralston, would you come up here, please? Now, I'm going to tell you that there's somebody in the room that thinks that Mr. Bill Ralston is receiving this award, but no. Miss Gail Ralston, would you please come up? We had to pull a little fast one on Gail to get her here, but no. Miss Gail Ralston is actually our friend of Rotary for the month of December, and it couldn't have gone to a better person.
Well, do come again next year. An invitation now.
And I will get you your certificate, because you have one coming too. Thank you very much. And wait. Miss Gail, would you please come back? I think Troy would like a photo.
Totally a Bill.
Get in there, Bill.
Act like you like her.
Got it? Got it? All right, thank you.
I do like her. I think I'll keep her.
She is a keeper. Okay, today we have something a little bit different planned. This is going to be an exciting opportunity, especially for some of our new folks, and you're going to have your own story soon too. But we're going to take the opportunity today to have several Rotarians come up and tell their My Rotary story. Why did you want to join Rotary? What reason are you here, and what is it doing for you, and how is it impacting your life? This is a very big push even at the district and Rotary International level for us to spread the word and show people why do you join Rotary? What is it that we're about? And so I am going to start off. We have, depending on time, we have 5 Rotarians today that have been asked and agreed to come up and give their My Rotary story. So, Mr. Bob Arrington, would you please come up and be first?
You know, I knew you would do.
I went according to alphabetical order. You're an A.
Why didn't the R's go? I think now is the appropriate time to say my last name is really Zaxby. Oh my gosh. Some of you have heard a lot of this before. You're way close to you. Whoa. Let me get my thoughts back together here. One, I joined Rotary so I could wear shorts. Okay, everybody knows that.
Cut that one out. Edit that.
And it's warm enough this January the 15th to wear shorts, believe me. For all of you, and I know everybody questioned why this high lifter is sitting right outside the window here. We're putting a new roof on the building. Okay, we've had some leaks, storm damage from back in October, November, those storms that came through that peeled the roof back. So that's what's going on up there. Okay, Rotary. Like I say, some of you have heard this before, but most of all of you in this room know who Paul Matthews was. Okay, I met him when he was a banker when I was this big and thought I was getting my own savings account all by myself, you know, that type of thing. So anyway, Paul would follow you around and just ask and ask and ask and ask and request and request and request you to join Rotary, as some of you probably had that same effect put on you. I was still with Lance Incorporated at that point in time and had just gotten out of 12 years of being in the JCs. So I started service, and that's what we're all here for, is to have a service life, quite frankly. I started service in my late 20s with JCs, but I had aged out of JCs. And Paul was calling me very often to take someone on a tour through the facility at Lance. So he cornered me in the bakery out there one day and said, "You're coming, when we get through with this tour this morning, you're coming to Rotary for lunch with me. I'll buy your lunch." And I've been here ever since. And that was 26 years ago, I believe, if my numbers are correct. Out of that 26 years, probably the last 10 have really been active for me, more so than the first 16. I know a lot of us, and I did it. I came at Holiday Inn, the old Holiday Inn. Tiffany's, exactly, John. Go to the back of the room and sit on the back table in the corner. Actually, though, Tim's got it wrong. You got to sit over here, closer to the door. So when right before the speaker gets up to talk, you leave. You know, did we all do that at some point? So I did that for some years, and then we moved around due to fires at the Civic Center and different things. We've been in churches, a couple of different churches for short periods of time over those years, and then we had the opportunity that Bill and Mike Atkinson and others that were involved in the first days of this building to move into this, and I'm going to call it a great, wonderful building.
It's old, it's got some rough spots here and there that we keep working on, but it's a great old building, and it's our building. So that change from being at the back of the room to standing up here, foolishly in my shorts. I've spent a lot of time in Rotary, and probably the big thing that draws me to it is the kids that we work with, whether it's the Haunted Landmark and being involved with that project. My heart goes out to all these folks that are fixing to leave in the morning on a plane, and the ones that are in transit, I guess, right now for the ship to go down to Cozumel. I can't go this year, health issues in the family, but that happens, and maybe next year. I think I've been 4 out of the last 5. But I encourage you to go. If you haven't gone, you need to go.
Yes.
One,
Yes.
you will build, if you go on a cruise, now you're going to do this regardless, but if you go on a cruise, and I'm not advocating either way, but if you go on a cruise, you get to know your other fellow Rotarians really, really, really well. Maybe better than you want to. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, it depends on, some of these ships have alcoholic beverages. And alcoholic beverages get people to talk freely. Okay? No. I won't tell any secrets, by the way. Those of you that I've been with, I will never do that.
Oh, good.
That's all right. You just committed yourself, baby. But these projects are what we do Rotary for. It's great to come here every Wednesday. It's great to have a really good meal from Shannon and her folks. But the crux of it is the different projects that we do. And we work really hard. We raise a lot of money. Probably 60,000+ this past year that we will give away, if we haven't already given a lot of it away, between the different projects that we do, and that's net money. We made a lot more than that, but unfortunately it costs to do some of these things. But that's the reason. That's why I'm here, and I will continue to be here. I'm looking towards, and I'll be honest with everyone, and I have with all my customers, I'm looking for retirement. Like Larry back here, who just recently retired, and some other people, like Roz. And Father Gary back there, he's even, there's a good thing out there for all of us, I hope. But anyway, that's why I'm here. Who's next on the roster?
Brakefield.
This is my traveling buddy. He's not good on ship.
No, but I maintain my liquor.
Yeah, you did.
I even study some of those people that don't. Anyway, not you. So I joined in 2009, actually May 19th, 2009, and not that that's a password to my Rotary account, but it's easy enough to remember. And the reason I joined was because at the time I was working as part of the community relations team at L3, and we were embroiled with that whole thing with the city and all that fun stuff. And I kept pushing because I always have this philosophy that if you're in conflict with somebody, the best thing you can do is talk to them. I don't believe in everybody huddle up and go to your own little silos and scream and shout at each other. It doesn't really work. And so part of my push was to try to get to join this club and get to know people in the community and hopefully see what their concerns were and try to have more proactive, relations in the community from the company standpoint. And that's, I think it helped, not that there weren't a ton of lawyers involved. But anyway, all that finally got passed, and I think the relationship is a lot better now than it had been then. And luckily, I was able to be part of this club and get to know a lot of people that had different opinions on that subject than I did. And that's always a benefit. I like to do things in the community to benefit other people, probably because of a reckless youth and sins that I need to make up for. Nothing too bad, but we don't talk about that anymore. But I really do enjoy seeing the benefit of what we do in the community and how that helps with the next generation. Bob was talking about the kids that we work with, in the haunted house. You know, you've got some kids in there that are dedicated, that have been doing this thing 6, 7, almost 8 years since it first opened up. And seeing them understand the mission that we have in the community and how to benefit others and building that legacy, that's a very, very big motivating factor for me. Another part of that is, you know, when we go to Cosmo, we see the kids down there. That's a big motivator for me as well. And like Bob said, if you haven't been, go. Even if you don't like the boat, fly down there. I like to fly. Anyway. But the other aspect of working with the kids are the scholarships. You know, sometimes the first and only pass that they see with us is if there's a student of the month or if they apply for a scholarship through our organization. And having them do, whether it's the 4-way test or whether it's the more traditional scholarship based on other merits, these are the times that we have that first touch with these students so that we can have them influenced and understand what we do. When we come together, you know, whether we're, you know, however we're different, and I love the fact that we're all different, whether it's, you know, old or young, male or female, black or white, or, you know, even, dare I say it, Baptist, Methodist, and Pentecost, you know, we all have our differences. And there's some other type of differences we talk about every now and then, but not today. And I like the fact that we can all come together and, you know, all the different characters that are in this room, and there's a few. Hey Charles, how you doing? He's ignoring me. But I like the fact that we all get together and can enjoy each other's company and not worry about some of those outside influences that distract us. You know, I think that as a club, when we come together, we have so much more of an impact on the community for the good of this area and, you know, even beyond that. So, and that's why I stay in Rotary. So, that's my 2 cents.
Yay, thank you. Mr. John Coble, because ABC.
Yes. Well, you know, Winston Churchill said, keep a speech just like a women's skirt, long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to keep your interest. So I'm going to be real short. The Rotary is actually one of the last places you could come and pray in public and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. So I always appreciate that each week that we have here. I was like some of the others, like Bob said. Paul Matthews was a great influence. Ken Hart, I don't remember if you remember Ken Hart. He was a Rotarian with Paul Harris. He had like 9 or 10 Paul Harrises. He invited me to Rotary and said, you need to come. When I got here, Paul Matthews says, you have to stay. So I'm at 29 years, so I'm still listening to Paul, and he's gone. The other things that I really enjoy about Rotary is Rich Renaud and I did the scholarships for a long time. We did it for several years. And meeting with the students at the high schools and bringing them in and interviewing them and then giving the scholarships and then going to the school, walking up stage and giving them to them in front of their family, that was great and rewarding. So I really appreciated what Rotary's done there. I travel across the United States and Texas. I've been on committees all over in Austin and DC, and I like coming back here and it keeps me grounded in the community, keep me grounded on what's really important, and that's our community service and the kids that we have here and all we help. When I first started in Rotary, we were out at Tiffany's. Charles remembers that, and Bob remembers that. There was no women in the club. We didn't raise a lot of money. We didn't do a whole lot at that time. Pretty soon we started getting some women. Janine Cunningham was our first woman president. Next thing we know, we started getting some more women in here. And you know what? Bob said, what, we net 60,000 last year when we used to make a few hundred. So I don't know if there's a correlation there or if we're just better off or we don't want to be shown up by them and we're working harder or whatever it is. But that's really worked very, very well for us. Everything else, I think Rotary's been good. I love the 4-way test. I try to use that when I'm on a committee, talking to people, or if I'm sanctioning a doctor or something, I try to keep that in my mind, what's fair all the way around there. We try to do that in business. And service above self, we keep that in mind. So that's pretty much what I have here. And after 29 years, I'm going to keep going.
Hey!
We used to have green beans at we had 20 years of green beans at lunch, so I'm very happy we don't have just green beans anymore.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Kim Quimby. We skipped a bunch of letters and went to QR.
There's a lot of people in between. I'm going to start further back to why I ended up here. I lived in Atlanta, Decatur, Georgia, precisely with my family. At 10 years old, I lost my father and to a tragic accident. And so for the next 10 years, I had my mother, and she was, a single mom at that time, widow. She had a lust for travel and a lust for service. She was a pink lady when she wasn't traveling. She worked very hard. She did accounting work. And then she traveled. She traveled way beyond where I've traveled. She traveled to Russia when it wasn't safe to go to Russia. They kept her passport, they kept her jewelry when she went in to see Russia. Anyway, when I finally moved out here, I now felt like, and now I'm 36 years old, I've jumped. I was looking for something to do, some service. I was helping with raise Keith's kids, and I don't know why I start shaking when I get it from people. I didn't used to do that. So sorry about that. Anyway, so I actually went and became a pink lady at the hospital. I was one of the youngest pink ladies ever was. I worked there probably 10 years in the gift shop on Wednesdays. Then I joined and became a master gardener. I wanted to give, I wanted to learn, so I became a master gardener. Then Byron Chitwood invited me to Rotary to lunch. He said, "This is where you need to be, Kim. You want to serve." To be honest, I was frustrated with Master Gardener because the meetings lasted so long. I mean, we would get stuck there for 4 hours in a board meeting. Absolutely ridiculous. I came here, we came for lunch, we left. We went to a board meeting, we left. It's timely, and what you do other than meeting is you serve. Perfect combination for me. I was here 2 years, and then I became president of the club. That year, because of my love for travel that my mother gave me, I was looking for something outside of the community, and that's when we started going to Cozumel during my presidency. So that's basically me. Y'all know that my heart's in Cozumel, and I'll be there tomorrow.
International. Yes, when it comes to international service, we always know who's our go-to is. So, I'm Katie Ridge, for those of you that don't know me. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about my Rotary story now, and mine's a little bit different. And for all of you new folks in here, I've only been in Rotary for 2.5 years. So the fast track, just like Kim said, to presidency, right? But the reason that I joined is several years ago, I actually was working as a social worker and case manager at the mental health center here in Greenville, and I have my master's degree in counseling, and I thought I would just be doing that forever. And that's when Medicare came out with these silly little drug plans, and I was trying to help my clients to figure it out, and I wasn't getting any traction there. I couldn't get any help from the Social Security office, and so ultimately I spoke to my husband, which I forgot to introduce him as a visitor earlier, but I spoke to him, and we kind of started talking about it, and there was an opportunity for me to leave and become an insurance agent and figure all this Medicare stuff out. So we took a leap of faith, and I quit my salary job and went into being an insurance agent, not having a clue what I was doing. I just literally started as an independent agent and just figured it out as I went. And there were a few lean years there because you know you don't know if you don't know how to go work for yourself and you don't know how to market, you know, you have to figure all of that out too. But over the next few years, 3 to 4 years, and I really started building up this agency and building up this business and feeling like I was really gaining some traction in the community, and that's when I decided to pull the trigger and join the Chamber of Commerce and get to know people there. And then I wanted to, you know, I reached a point financially where I felt like that it was very important to give back, not just of my time, but of financially, what can we do as a community? And for all of you that have been here for any length of time, which just a minute ago, we've now, just between the few people that have stood up here, we have, 100 years of service and we have several hundred years of service right here in this room. You guys have all seen over time, collectively, what we can do in this community. It's just amazing. $60,000 net that we can give back to our community, and I wanted to be a part of that. That is just an amazing feeling to say that what one person maybe can't do on their own, all of us together can do exponentially. And so I am very, very proud to be a member of the Rotary Club of Greenville, and I'm thankful that I have made the connections. I did join, some of what I joined for originally is to make the connections and network and get to know people in the community, because before I joined the Chamber of Commerce, I would tell people, if you knew me, that's either because I waited on you at 2 senoritas in the 90s when I was putting myself through college, or because you were crazy, because that was MHMR, okay? So that was it. Those were the only 2 ways. So now, when I walk in a room, whether it's a chamber event or it's a Rotary Club meeting, I know so many people, and I'm so blessed and thankful to have these connections and for all of us to have this opportunity to know each other in a really, really positive way. All right, that's it.
Katie?
Yes.
I want to make a little quick statement.
Yes, sir.
Katie was brought in as the president-elect. I was president at that time. We had some situations where people were dropping out and did not want that position. We, as past presidents and myself, got together and we discussed who we were going to bring in as president-elect. We only had one name that kept coming up, and it was yours. And that's the reason.
I was crazy enough to say yes, right?
That was it.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm going to say, I knew you had 2 senoritas, not the other.
Yeah, so, thankfully.
Unfortunately.
Everybody in Hunt County put me through college, so thank you for that. I know that we have, did Julie have, oh, she's not here, okay. Julie Horn has placed some information on the tables about Remember For Me. Please make sure to look over that, and that's an event that she would like for us to know about. The other thing that I'm supposed to announce, Keith could not be here today, so please remember that on January 29th, we will be having Visitor Day. Please make sure to reach out to somebody. I've already reached out to a couple of people that I met, new chamber members, and invited them. So reach out to somebody, whether it's at your church, whether it's your neighbor, whomever, somebody, a customer, somebody that you deal with in your regular life. Please reach out and invite them to come and be a part of this. I think today is evidence of why we want to be here. We've got some amazing stories, and we're not done. We're going to tell more stories, but there's some amazing, amazing people in this club, and we need to bring new members in and let them experience what we have here. Okay, is there anything else to bring before Rotary today? Yes, sir.
I was thinking that, I'm sorry I forgot their name.
Jessica?
Tammy. Yeah, Tammy was going to give her talk today. What kind of impression you were going to talk?
No.
I thought she told me that when I was
Don't give her a heart attack, Larry.
I'm sorry. I thought you said that when I met Alex.
No, it was the red badge she was doing today. Okay, please, we do not have, I don't think we have many members of the cleanup committee here today because we have so many Rotarians. Yes, thankfully we have so many Rotarians on the boat to Cozumel right now. So please help clean up very quickly. And I know that Jessica has a couple of members that she would like to stay. If you're Chili Fest oriented, she's reached out to you. Please stay for just a moment afterwards. And that's all for Rotary today.
This video has been brought to you by Juice 34. Juice is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.